All right, so that first verse, the dark eyes, went like this. When that light in you be darkness, please tell me how great is it? On the top of the congregation is where you think you about to sit before this earth. You had one job and threw it all away, not just the first, but the worst of all with those who fall away. I'm not okay. I can feel his heart break at what you did long before you had beguiled Eve when Adam ran and hid. This the message that I give, the one that he already wrote. On that day, he gonna separate the sheep right from the goat. I don't know why. I woke up with a sense of vengeance in my heart, cause you got right in between and me and God it grew apart. I'm his boy, got me covered by the blood of his only boy. Satan keep the world, he bout to burn it up, so go enjoy. You can have them gold wings, you can have that gold throne, you can have this whole world and lose the whole soul. Through your fake smile, I'm hearing real lies, not surprised why you can never see it through them dark eyes. Man, that second verse went hard too. Only thing about the second verse is that because the part in that verse where I was pretty much paraphrasing what Satan said in scripture when he was like, well, in the part of the song, I had to cut the verses kind of short because I needed it to rhyme and I needed it to fit in the song. But I was so glad that that scripture, when he was like, I will ascend into the heaven, I will, like, you know what I'm saying? I was so glad that I was able to piece that verse together in a way to where it fit in my verse like it could have been in a song. You know, that part of that verse was like, I will ascend into the heaven, put my throne up in the sky, the furthest sides of the north, I will be like the most high. And then after that, I was like, but that's a big dream, knowing you can't do nothing but lie. You will have nothing but fire. On that day, you'll surely die. Like, you know what? All right, look, let me go ahead and cut the second verse for you. But the only thing about that part of that song is that because it happens so quick after my words, and then it ends so quick before my next words, it's kind of hard for me to catch my breath in that part because it really ain't supposed to be me in that part. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to actually hear the song. And so that second verse went like, he beheld Satan falling like the lightning from the heaven and empowered us to step on snakes, and he's the secret weapon. I can call upon his name because the glory is in his name. It was Christ who put me under the authority of his name. Ascending to the heaven, put my throne up in the sky, the furthest sides of the north, I will be like the most high. But that's a big dream, knowing you can't do nothing but lie. You will have nothing but fire. On that day, you'll surely die. You were perfect in your ways until iniquity was found. You went trafficking through heaven, trying to bring the kingdom down. The accuser of the brother, Michael, cast him to the ground. In the deepest pit in hell is how you always be renowned. Now he walks and he devours because he know his day is short. Even though he never win, he just a murderer for sport. I got built up in the spirit, the most high God is my fort. Every day we plead our case until the day you show in court. Yeah. Look, let me tell you why I really wrote that song. The real reason why I wrote that song is because I was mad. I was mad. I was just mad. Mad at what? You ever had so much spiritual war in your life over the years? Right? Like, you know, God saved you and called you and chose you for a purpose, for real, right? But so you can't just make this up. Like, this ain't just life happening. Like, you could look back before you got saved and you would honestly be able to say, stuff like this never took place in my life when I was doing wrong. Stuff like this never took place in my life when I was outside of Christ. It's like the only thing common I can find about how everything in my life work out is this. I got saved. After I got saved, stuff started happening differently. You know what I'm saying? Stuff just worked different, you know? And after all the spiritual war, after all your own loved ones he used as weapons against you, you know what I'm saying? Trying to use people close to you to wear out your love and your patience, always trying to provoke and move you in a way to have room to accuse you before God, to then accuse God. It's like, after so long, you look, bro, at some point, you gotta just get mad. And not just mad, but crazy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just get mad, I got crazy. You know, like, I'm a very level-headed person. Like, I give stuff way too much of a pass sometime before I ever even get around to addressing it, because I want to make sure it is exactly what I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not quick to jump on nothing that I know I might regret the way I respond, if I do respond to it. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, I think God allows stuff like this to work in our life on purpose, just to make us soldiers, just to make us mad. Like, okay, yeah, I don't know when you're going to get mad and actually do something. You know, I think the worst thing that happened to the modern day church, especially the church in America, is that we became demilitarized. Like, we just got soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might not be soft when it comes to how we deal with other people, right? We might not be soft when it comes to starting some mess with another person, or just being some kind of pushover and stuff like that. But I think we really got soft when it came to spiritual stuff. You know, I think that's the worst thing that ever happened to the church in America. I'm not lying to you. I think we just too clean, too soft, not willing to be the bad guy, according to how everybody else see it. Just not willing to get our hands dirty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think at some point, bro, you're going to have to prepare yourself for spiritual battle. And it's not that you got to do it yourself, but you got to allow God to work that in you. You know what I mean? But you can't just be sitting around taking fiery dart after fiery dart so long as you got the armor of God on. Because if you hit armor enough in one spot, you eventually gonna poke a hole in it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a brick wall. You take a hammer and beat it too many times in one spot, you eventually gonna get through it. And it's at that point when you say to yourself, I'm sick and tired of being wounded. I'm sick and tired of the war always coming to me. Like, you know what? I was cool this whole time, but hold my coffee. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Now you done got me mad, and you ain't just get me mad, but I'm crazy too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think at some point in time, you just need to get crazy, right? At some point in time, like, you done cried out to God enough, you know, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. That's what you should do, at least attempt to do first. But it's a point in time when God is like, why are you crying out to me? Raise your staff. You know, like, you remember when he said that to Moses in Exodus? And they was on the run from Egypt, and then they made it to the Red Sea and couldn't get across, and everybody started complaining. Like, everybody started complaining to Moses, and then Moses went to God complaining, and God was like, why are you crying out to me? Raise up your staff. At some point, you just got to raise up your staff and just quit crying. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nothing wrong with crying out to God. I don't think we can do that enough. But sometime, man, you got to be the one to act. And I learned to deal with everything like this in my life. Over the years, I'm like, you know what? Like, I done went to prayer. I done went to worship. All of this. I'm going to keep blessing my enemies. But watch this. I'm crazy too. You do know that, right? Now, I done turned the other cheek, right? But watch this, though. Now, I done tolerated all the disrespect, but I'm going to tell you this too. You know what I'm saying? Now, I done tolerated all of this, all of that, all the rumors, all the lies. You know what I'm saying? All of the he ain't nothing but a hypocrite, this and all of that. All right. Now watch this. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to do this. All right. I think that's the whole reason that really inspired that song. I ain't even going to lie to you. And that didn't just inspire the song, but that really pretty much inspired my whole vibe for real. You know what I'm saying? Like how I just walk around through daily life, how I attack my goals. You know what I'm saying? How I hit my calling pretty hard in Christ. Like, nah, man. Like I think Americanized Christian religion has put people up under this. I don't want to call it a curse because it's something you can just turn on, but you ain't gonna turn it on if you don't know it need to be activated, you know. But I think that it made everybody too passive, just too passive. Like, yeah, you want to wait on God, yeah, you want him to fight your battles, but he got to use somebody too to fight that battle sometime, and it might just be you. You know what I mean? Like, at what point do you get to be his battle axe? You know what I mean? Like, it's a moment in time when you gotta raise your staff. You know, raise your scepter, the symbol of how he anointed you or gifted you or called you or something like that. Like, you gotta do something because, hey, we ain't about to just sit here and take blows and just forgive like to no end and that be all there is to the story. At some point, yeah, you want to keep forgiving. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep giving people more than enough room and more than enough chances, just like the Most High gave you, right? But you need to be able to recognize when something is a spiritual battle that requires your immediate attention, that requires your aggressive attack. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't telling you to just go around hitting everybody over the head with a Bible or nothing like that, because it's 1.5 million ways where you can go attack spiritual battles. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff do call for praise and worship and stuff like that, and you giving everybody the love of Christ, but the love of Christ is not just about niceness, right? Didn't the Bible say he chastised every son he receives? That's love. Being beat with his rod is love. So if you ain't never got nothing in your soul that know when it's time to attack, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you really know that you even expressing the whole story of love, right? Like, if you're not willing to be the first one to fire an arrow after so long, I mean, not even the first one, really, because I guarantee you the Kingdom of Darkness is going to be the first one. I guarantee you they will. But the one thing about it, though, is that don't take spiritual war personally. Don't ever take battles. Don't ever take war personal. It's not personal. You just so happen to switch sides and you on the other team now. That's just the way it is. Just the way it is. Like I always tell people, right? If Lucifer wasn't the devil, I would actually admire him. Not in some way of worship, but like, I mean, he a genius. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like he a genius. You know what I'm saying? Like, he a real strategist for real. Like, I mean, he a real man of war. Like, he know what he be doing. Oh, but God knows more. You know what I mean? He always 12 steps ahead, 100 steps ahead. Like, he'll sit there and watch Lucifer move every day and be like, all right, watch this. I'm about to bait him into moving against himself, right? Like, as soon as he think he won, right? Like, I done laid that trap out there for him. I didn't put you in this situation to make you look like the vulnerable sheep just to get the wolves to come out, and then they gonna end up harming themselves, all from trying to think they getting over. It happens like that, bro. It happened like that. But that's the real reason I honestly made that song. I was mad, but not in an unhealthy way. I was level-headed mad. You know what I'm saying? After all the marriage issues, you could clearly see the devil behind it. Don't ever think you too saved to go through spiritual war. In fact, the more you press into God, the more likely it's going to happen. Like, if you don't got spiritual battles, it ain't because the devil's scared of you. It's because he comfortable with you. The devil presented himself before Christ. Like, he saw him doing miracles and all this other stuff, showed up right there in front of him. All he understand is brute force. That's all he understand is power. Do you got some power? That's what I'm coming to see. I'm coming to see the one with the power. I'm not coming to see everybody on the sideline singing songs and clapping and then just going about their life doing nothing about it. No, I'm coming to see the one with some power. So anybody ever tell you that the reason you got spiritual war in your life is because, well, like, you need to get closer to God? Like, yeah, like, you can invite demonic oppression in your life, but spiritual war is different than demonic oppression. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. And there's really no clear way for me to define that in all the ways it need to be defined. So I ain't even gonna start, you know. But spiritual war is usually when you ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't really say you ain't done nothing, because after all, you did come to Christ for the forgiving of your sin. So everybody done something. But like, you could do nothing but show love to people, and you still get hatred in return. For real. Like, you can do the best thing anybody has ever done for somebody, and they'll still turn around and spit on you. For real. Like, you could be minding your own business, and for some odd reason, somebody think it's a good idea to just disturb your peace over nothing. Like, why? I'm over here singing some Zion songs, and y'all on some mess. Like, why? I bet you if I was somewhere playing video games, I'd never hear this. I'd never be going through this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just tell a difference. You gotta have discernment on what you call spiritual war and demonic oppression, because it ain't all the same thing. But you can confuse it though, you know. But other than that, man, like, I hope TikTok actually do let this video be on YouTube, because the last time I tried to upload the song, they told me that I couldn't. And so, like, that's kind of why I had to do it that way. And that's not even the full version of that song. Like, that song got like 2 errors in it, 3. Like, that's a rough draft copy. Like, some stuff I said backwards from how I intended them to be. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, there is going to be a remastered version of that song. I just had to make some. That was it.